Okay, this is a 30-second commercial, and I'm going to throw a lot of numbers at you, but please stay with me. In just 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more on car insurance. This company has been offering great rates and great service for over 75 years, and anytime you need help, you can speak to one of their trained specialists 24/7. That company is Geico. Go to geico.com today. Sorry for all the numbers, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm out of time.
Now, Podcast One brings you Spike's Car Radio. A downloadable Cars and Coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast, Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
All right, welcome to Spike's Car Radio. We're in the Beverly Hills studio. We've left a chair open for you, the listener, and it's going to be a full studio today. We've got Chuck Liddell. Is he a UFC lightweight heavyweight champion, former, and
Dude,
Steve O.
Man.
Wait, hold on. Let me introduce the show, Zuckerman. We got Steve O from Jackass fame. These guys have a new show they want to come in and tell us about. And in the meantime, before they arrive, I'm here with the real Zuckerman. Hello, Zuckerman.
Good morning.
You've been ill, I hear.
Well, you know, this has been the worst flu season in many a decade.
I know, but you've been sick for like 6 months. Are you at all worried that this is the end of your life, that this is the end of Zuckerman?
Well, I would tell you this, and I was thinking
and
about
I don't
this.
say that lightly because I've seen you, messed up on all sorts of drugs and not getting better.
All right.
And still cavorting. There's too much cavorting. going on.
Well, I would tell you this. If it was 1919 when they had the famous Spanish influenza, I
Right.
probably would be dead
Right.
because they don't have – I would have been one of the 20 million worldwide victims of the great influenza pandemic of 1919. No, I do believe that I am like a cockroach. You know, I might take a hit of Raid in the face, be a little wobbly for a little bit, and then shake it off.
Yeah, you're the type of guy who, in the coffin, you'll just suddenly open your eyes and strangle one last person.
One
just
last
reach out
person
and
and bring him in. No, it's said if anybody's ever seen me, I have a giant nose, and I believe that the bigger the nose, the bigger the infection, and my giant horrendous beak is keeping me sick. And
well, what is this? Because I got sick. I was fine until I was driving out to Thermal Club to do a little racing last weekend with my business partner, John, who just had it. And he was just freely sneezing and coughing in the car.
What a selfish fucking asshole. You should have punched him right in the eye.
I didn't want to. I
You
didn't
should
want to
have.
harm that other eye.
It makes me so fucking angry when people do that.
But I thought it would be fine. But by the way, my wife also had it at home, and then my trainer, my personal trainer, also had it. So I don't know who had it.
Punch everybody.
But I'm spreading the guilt around to everyone that they all caused this.
Okay.
And then I got back, and I've been out for 4 days.
Did you get a flu shot?
No, I don't.
It didn't
do that
matter
anymore.
because the flu.
Is this the flu though?
It is the flu.
Well,
You got
then
the
there was
flu.
no fever, there was no vomiting, there was nothing else.
Lucky you. Lucky you. What, you were dying for diarrhea?
Well,
Cheering
yeah,
for diarrhea?
I do get excited about vomiting and diarrhea, yes, because it's a quick way to lose like 10 pounds.
You sound like a teenage girl. That's
I'm
really
just saying,
scary.
you come out the other side of it looking pretty good. Your clothes fit really well. You know, you don't have the salt fingers on your ring. Your wedding ring goes right on. What's wrong with that? Why can't I look on the positive side of the flu? But all kidding aside, Zuckerman, and you, not a lot of people know this about you. You have a lot of great medical information because you're dealing with the people it goes wrong. This doesn't seem like this seemed like a bad cold because I've been reading that people have been dying of this thing in the newspaper, right? And but I will tell you that first night I had it, it felt like Niagara Falls in the back of my nasal passages.
You are a very
just
healthy
flying.
guy. You're a healthy guy. You recovered quickly. Most people recover quickly. There is a realm of possibilities and outcomes when you get this flu from a minor flu to death. Okay, there's a continuum. You got the minor, I got the medium, other people got death.
But there was no fever. Isn't that the hallmark of the flu?
How do you know you didn't have a fever? Did you walk around with a rectal thermometer up your ass? Did you take it out of your ass, put it in your mouth?
Yeah, I know when I have a fever. I don't have a fever.
So there may be, as doctors will say, Most people have fleas. You got lice. Most people had the flu. You got a cold.
All I'm saying is I'm still a little worried I may get the flu on top of this.
I hope you do.
And
now at this point, I hope you do. Listening to all this crap.
You're so aggressive.
Yes, I am, because you make me angry. The upshot is that everything makes me angry. But I may have to I have tonsillitis is what's been the lingering thing. And at my advanced years, I may get my tonsils out.
That is insane. You're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Why would the tonsils be causing you a problem?
Because they're staying infected. They're staying infected, and so they need to be cut out.
You know, it's those stupid green teas you're drinking all the time.
Green tea's so bad for you. Green tea's everybody knows green tea's bad for you.
But you leave them in all your cars. Every time I'm in one of your cars, they're just they're sitting there tipped over.
You're a man
with no
that's
caps.
using toilet paper for tissues, and that kind of makes me sick. It's something that really grosses me out.
Toilet paper is Kleenex. You do know that.
You take it from the bathroom where people are using it to wipe their asses, and now you've brought it out.
They don't wipe it.
Didn't you
roll it back up into the thing?
Didn't you write that episode for Seinfeld about the books in the bathroom?
I helped write it. Yes. I was
yeah.
one of the co-authors
so
of
you
that
know,
episode.
don't take your stuff out of the bathroom.
No, you don't take it into the bathroom. The story
was
out. That George brought a library book into the bathroom
Same
and then wanted to
principle.
return it. You can't return it.
The same principle. Somebody was farting and shitting 2 inches away from that toilet paper you've got.
It doesn't bother me. You know, I was watching a little bit of this Ultimate Expedition show that we're going to talk to Steve-O about, coincidentally. And there's, 3 minutes in, Steve-O is drinking water out of a toilet. He walks into a bathroom in Peru, of all places, takes a cup, and drinks the toilet water. What do you say to that? Now you'd have a point. Not me taking tissue and blowing my nose.
It's hard out there to make a living is what. That's the moral of the story. If you're doing that to make money, it's hard out there. It's a tough world.
What's going on in the car world, Zuckerman? We've where are we at? I told you I got the leaf green tea back. We've got the sway bars front and rear. The car is straight as an arrow. We adjusted, is it the canter? Where we tipped it a little forward,
right,
and put by about a half a degree, as much as we could, put a little more weight on the front of those tires.
Wow.
I hear these Pirelli CN36s, by the way, are just like this. They're just like ball bearing. They're very light on the front of these cars, coupled with the 71T is already light. Like there's only 1,000 pounds on the front of that car. So
that's the magic.
So it it was a little too magic. It was a little too slippery. But now it's perfection.
I can't wait to drive it. Can't wait.
I want you to drive it.
And, we've got the 87 that we shared together. We got that back minus. The only thing that we're missing right now is the radio.
I talked to the radio guys. So I forget the name of the company. Let me look it up. These guys are amazing. If you guys have a Blaupunkt radio that you want to be fixed.
I love that these guys are scared of charging you more than $100. They're really reluctant to bill you.
I would give these guys thousands of dollars.
Yeah, they're very, very honest.
Prangenberg is the guy's name. And here it is. Ingo Prangenberg of VintageBlau.com.
He came all the way from Scandinavia to Long Island to fix radios.
So just to tell you the quality of this person, I cold call him as just a Joe Schmo, right? With my stupid Blaupunkt Reno questions, right? He could not have been nicer from the very start. I had no idea who I was, and just went on a very long report about the Blaupunkt Reno and how what a beautiful radio it is, and how wonderful it is that you and I have this original example, and please take care of it. Never put a tape in it, because if that goes wrong, then you ruin it. Just keep it and restore it. He stayed on the phone with me for like a half an hour, Zuckerman, talking about transistors and knobs, and I was blown away.
Would you want him at Thanksgiving?
Absolutely.
Really?
That prank, yeah. Ingo can come live at my house. He's a wonderful man because he's so passionate about something so stupid. The old Blaupunkt radios. But you and I both know when your radio isn't working, you start to lose your mind, and there's nobody around to work on it. And this is what this guy does. So I forwarded you that email. He assessed it. He repaired it. He made a video. He demonstrated it working. And then he said, just give me your email and a PayPal. It was just a couple $100.
How can this guy afford to live?
Because he's doing what he loves to do. He's doing what he loves to do.
He must live in a basement somewhere.
I don't know where he lives.
He needs to charge more.
But I will say this. God bless Ingo Prangenberg of Vintage Blau, and I strongly encourage you to use him. But Ingo, if you're hearing about this and you're listening to me now, please, my work before everybody else's, because people will start using this guy, and then, of course, you can't get in.
You've just fucked yourself.
Now, did you get the wheel off the 87 to incent
I
to
haven't.
wheel enhancement?
At this point, I don't think I really care about it. It's like one of these things.
Did you drive the car?
I drove it. It drove fine. I want you to drive it. I think it would be like picking fly shit out of pepper. There's no reason to fix that wheel.
What about 4 in the morning when you wake up and you realize I've got a warped wheel?
At 4 in the morning, I'm worrying about all the warped people working for me.
Do you want me to do it? Or do you care? I don't. Honestly, I don't care.
I don't care. Because
for the drives out to Malibu, the stuff we're doing in this car, it's all good. And I can put the stereo in when it gets here.
I think Eric Pitino was just trying to bilk us for a few more dollars. I think he told us this wheel fantasy story.
Eric Pitino from Beverly Hills Porsche that did an incredible job on that car. They really did an incredible job.
It was well worth it.
It was, wasn't it? When you drove it, wasn't it like, oh my God, it's brand
different.
New?
And the clear windshield, everything about that car is terrific. And you were right. Getting the seat fixed was essential.
Yeah, and now you adjust it and you make it perfect. But doesn't that make you want to just go the last 5 yards?
I don't know.
I'm going to do it.
I don't know about the wheel, and who's got time?
Because I talked to wheel enhancement guy. I talked to him. He's another one. He's like Ingo here. He gave me a nice long speech about warped wheels and what he does, and I got pretty excited about it.
And so if in theory, if you drive on the warped wheel for the next 50 years, the car will be ruined.
No, the wheel's going to be fine. It's knowing.
It's knowing.
See, for me, it's knowing that the wheel, something's wrong with the car that inhibits my enjoyment a little bit, even if and admittedly, I cannot feel it.
You're a sick man.
I am. And, well, look who's here, ladies and gentlemen. It's Chuck Liddell and Steve-O. Come on in, fellas. Hey, let's talk about that bucket list of yours for a minute. You know what should be on that bucket list? A trip to one of the greatest spectacles in all of motorsports, the Indy 500. And not just any trip, but the ultimate Indy 500 fan experience. And that's what AMSOIL, maker of some of the best synthetic motor oils on the planet, is giving away this spring. One grand prize winner will win the trip of a lifetime to the Indy 500 to watch some of the fastest cars and best drivers battle it out to have their names etched alongside the greats like Foyt, Andretti, Unser, and Castroneves. But that's not all. You also get, as grand prize winner, pit access, dinner with an Indy 500 legend, VIP track access, suite access to watch the race, $1,000 in cash for expenses, round-trip airfare for two to and from Indianapolis, hotel accommodations for two, for 5 nights at a hotel near the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, ground transportation to and from the airport, hotel and speedway, and a chance to meet the drivers. Just like they do when making high-performance synthetic motor oils, AMSOIL went the extra mile with this sweepstakes. If that's not enough, 10 first-place winners will receive 1 free digital download code for Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game. To enter the AMSOIL Ultimate Indy 500 fan experience, text INDY to 41487. That's INDY, I-N-D-Y, to 41487. That's pretty easy, folks. Or just visit amsoil.com/Indy.
You're listening to Spike's Car Radio.
All right, well, here they are, Zuckerman. Here are the guys.
Here are the guys.
You know both these gentlemen, right?
I know who they are. They don't know me. Why would they know me? I know them.
Yeah, I guess they don't. But, Steve-O, good to see you again. I don't know if you remember, you were on my late-night show way back when.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember the bit, but I remember you showed up with a bag of Whippets.
Oh, okay.
A shopping bag of Whippets.
Sure.
And you were lighting up joints in the van with the crew. They were so excited to be with you.
Right.
But do you have any idea what that is? I'm
I remember
what
that
was.
sort of general era. That's a chapter in my
the
life.
old Steve-O. We have the new Steve-O here.
Right.
And it's nice to see you looking so healthy. And you guys are here to talk about this YouTube Red Show Ultimate Expedition.
Yeah, but let's face it, we're going to talk about all kinds of shit.
We are.
Yeah.
Let me get out your plug. It's an adventure competition series that begins airing January 17th on YouTube Red. What the hell is YouTube Red? Is that the pay window?
It's yeah, exactly. It's a paid subscription platform similar to Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, and YouTube is getting into that space. But I think that the angle YouTube's taking is more of leveraging, because I mean, of course, Google is YouTube, and they go after getting their.
So this is it's the subscriber base, right?
Right,
so
the
they want to be like
subscriber base,
HBO.
yeah.
They want
Yeah.
to be like any of these networks that you pay a little
Right,
money, you
but
get better content.
What makes it a little bit different is that YouTube, they've got their creators, their YouTube personalities, and all of these people have gigantic followings that really just, the kids today is what they watch YouTube. So they're trying to leverage people with YouTube followings to turn their audience into paying subscribers. So you see a lot of the talent that they use on their in their content is established YouTube personalities, and they sprinkle in some people that are mainstream as well. I'm on both sides of the fence because I started doing the YouTube thing in 2013.
But how do you guys get? This is a very unlikely pairing of guys.
So you would think, yeah.
You look over at Chuck. That's not a guy I'm going to mess with right now, right?
I mean, Chuck's the nicest guy ever.
He's a sweetheart, but man, he's a crusher. He's a killer. I've seen him fight before. The Iceman. That's right. You guys are together in this show with how many other folks? And Chuck? What are you guys? What are you trying to do?
I think there's 9 total.
Well, 9 total if you count the host, Yuka.
I watched it, and it's you're trying to climb. I couldn't pronounce the mountain.
Tocllaraju.
Tocllaraju. It's a mountain in Peru, right?
Right. It's easier to call it
22,000 feet.
Yeah, easier to call it Titty Mountain because it looks just like a titty.
And as far as I could tell, at least in the first episode that I saw, the biggest issue you guys have is altitude sickness, right? But
how are oxygen's a problem at 22,000
But how
feet?
is the idea that it's let's see who can make it to the top, and then and every week someone's eliminated?
It's not. There's not a formal elimination process as much. It's more that if anybody proves to not be able to go any further due to health risks, due to just kind of mentally quitting, like whatever the case may be, they'll be eliminated on a need to be eliminated basis.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, everybody could win. So, if all 8 of us could have made it, or all 9 of us could make it,
then
everyone can make it.
The goal is to get as
money?
many people
What
up
do you
there.
win?
What do you
It was
win?
just you get to finish.
Bragging
You get to
rights.
finish bragging rights.
Well,
Just
I
all for
really-
bragging rights. Yes.
Did you finish?
I
Yeah,
can't
Taylor,
say
you
that
gotta watch
way.
the show. Come on.
Man, so
It's the
stupid.
first
I
rule of
don't-
entertainment.
What do I- I'm not
He's
an
not going to reveal
entertainment.
that. He'll tell you after the show what happened.
Okay, I'm stupid.
But here's what I liked about it. It looked beautiful. I mean, I thought all
Sure.
the camera work was really amazing. I loved the choices. A show like this can really go wrong pretty quickly if they put Omarosa or somebody in it. I thought everybody they chose, including you two, the guy from Jackass who's been abused every which way, and let's see if he can do this. And then this guy, one of the toughest guys in the world, let's see if they can do it. I thought it was really smart. I thought it was a really smart piece of unscripted television.
Sure.
What was it? What were your challenges? Was it? I in the first few minutes, by the way, and I was telling Zuckerman about it, I saw you drink out of a toilet, which made me happy. I thought, now we're gonna have some laughs.
You're talking about the guy breaking all the rules. It's this guy.
Yeah, they told you that you weren't allowed to drink the tap
local
water.
Well, they strongly suggested that I not drink the tap water. I mean, because it's not only like an undeveloped country. I mean, we're talking about essentially a shanty town in Peru.
Yes.
Where like
It looked really kind of nice, actually.
as a rule, when I've traveled the world, I drink tap water everywhere I go. Because when I was 13 years old in 8th grade, I went on a trip to Egypt. They said, don't drink the tap water. And I took it seriously. Then I watched a guy dunk his toothbrush in the Nile and brush his teeth in the Nile River.
Yeah, he's been doing that his whole life, though.
Right, I thought
You know what it's really interesting. You know, you were raised in London, right?
Yeah, I was born in England. I grew up in 5 different
Listen
countries.
to his real name, Stephen Gilchrist Glover.
Yeah.
What a respectable British gentleman
He
we have.
sounds like a colonial administrator.
Right.
It's terrific.
And when you say that the Egyptian
And he's
dude...
drinking toilet water.
Yeah.
Right. When
But you don't ever get sick. You can't
Right,
say that you
right.
go and you drink water and then you never get
Well,
sick.
like you said, the Egyptian guy has been doing that his whole life.
Right.
And that occurred to me when I was 13. I thought, well, this guy is, his immune system is built up to that. So I deduced that if I were to travel the world and drink tap water everywhere, I would have the strongest immune system. And I did get some Hershey squirts in in Africa. But overall, I think that the plan worked pretty well.
If you're listening, don't do what Steve-O does.
And then
this is ridiculous logic that you're using. Well, let's get back to
having done that all over the world. What struck me is that when I got to this shanty town in Peru, Juarez, Peru, the locals were like, "Dude, I would never drink tap water." And
really?
Yeah, the locals were really freaked out.
So what
by
happened when you drank the toilet?
Well,
you took a coffee cup, you dipped it in the toilet. You and another guy from the show.
I was fine.
You were fine.
And the host of the show, was
he got sick the next day.
He was out of commission.
He was
for the next day. He didn't show up for training, but he didn't need as much training.
It's really Zuckerman. It's really
he'd done it before, so he need the training. But he didn't show up.
If you're at all a germaphobe, when you see him do that, you just go, "Oh,
this is terrific. This is terrific."
And this is the new cleaned up Steve-O that's doing that. There's no
excuse.
There's no excuse.
You just have a sign that says, "Don't try this at home. Whatever I'm doing, you don't do."
So, Chuck, was it hard for you? You're a guy. Obviously, you're still in shape. Was it difficult for you to get up this mountain?
Well, yeah. It's all new. I mean, it's 14,500 feet was our base camp.
Wow,
and that's higher than I think I've been.
That's higher than any city in the world.
Yeah. I go to Aspen and I'm in the hotel for 3 days before I adjust.
I wonder. What is 14,000 feet? That's higher than
La Paz, Bolivia. La Paz is like 11,000 to 12,000 feet, and I was sick when I was there.
Right.
So what do you do in that situation?
High camp, I think, was over 16,000 feet.
That's Everest style.
Everest is 30,000 feet.
Right, but Everest at the base camp is what? The same is the same.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Why did you do it? First of all, why did you sign up for this?
For me, I was in the middle of, I just got let go from the UFC, and I've been retired for a while, and I've been kind of rolling around lost for a little while. So
trying to figure out
what to do, and I'd been off training. I hadn't been really working out a lot, and I needed a goal, needed something to get me fired up and give me a kick in the ass.
Right. And did this do it?
And yeah, it did. The one thing was, honestly, when I signed up for it, I thought it was going to shoot 3 months later than it did. So I thought, you know what? I can get in shape for this thing. I'm ready. I'm going to go out and do this. And then my manager goes, no, it's starting in 2 weeks.
Oh,
I'm like, what do you mean 2 weeks? I'm like, so I went out and got quite a few hikes in and some workouts in and started to get working.
The only thing you could really do is like go some high altitude place like Mammoth or up in Colorado and start training up there, right? That's the only thing you can do to get
that
in
would have
shape
been nice to have time for that. And that's kind of what I was planning on doing when I heard. I thought I had 3 months. I was all ready to go do a few hikes, high altitude hikes. But,
did you get sick? Did you get?
No, actually, you have to watch the show. You have to watch the show.
You did pretty well. What about you, Steve-O? Was this? What would you rate this on the? Right before we started taping this morning, when you came in, we were on a little break, and you were showing me a really funny clip of you taped to the side of a truck and having Johnny Knoxville hit baseballs at you for something new you're working on. Where would you rate? Would you rate that as this show? Was that a harder thing, or getting baseballs hit at your crotch by Johnny Knoxville?
Going into this. YouTube Red Ultimate Expedition. Yeah, it was understood that everybody was going to reach a breaking point. Yeah, right. I mean, you're going to push yourself to an extreme where you just can't take anymore, and that's inevitable. So I'd say that.
And did you get there?
Like the getting baseballs hit at me was scary, and wow, and that could have gone all kinds of wrong. But I got away with it, and it was quick. It hurt, but it was quick. In this case, as far as altitude sickness, like my experience was that I felt a little bit lightheaded, and being a sober guy in recovery from drug and alcohol addiction, it was just a little bit off-putting, alarming that the lightheaded feeling from the altitude was enjoyable. I was like, I this reminds me of something. I'm kind of lightheaded and a little woozy and
kind of like whippets.
Yeah, right. And what's a lot like whippets is when I talk Chuck. It didn't take a lot of talking into, but Chuck here choked me completely unconscious up in the mountains. So not only was I running short on oxygen.
Yeah, he had to really talk me into that one.
Yeah, he cut off the blood flow to my brain.
You know how to do that to anybody. You can just choke
That
them
was
out.
Nigel Hudson's
Yeah,
old trick.
it's not
Right.
that tough.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
It's so funny,
It's
too.
a parlor trick.
You know, I was just editing that video, and
You're not worried that you might kill somebody, that you might fall and die. You're not a medical doctor,
He
Chuck.
told me a story
I
about a
wasn't
guy
one of the ones that-
dying. His buddy accidentally killed a guy. Tell him
Whoops.
about that one. This is a story he told me immediately
Yeah.
before doing it to me.
That's what I was explaining. I'm like, now the thing was this guy was driving down the Malibu on
PCH,
PCH, and he looks over and there's this big dude pushing these old people. So no one's getting out to help. He gets out to help. He gets out, goes over.
They're in a broken down car.
And the guy, they just were off the side of the road. I don't know what was going on, but the big guy was pushing these old people around. So he got out, pushed the big guy back.
Oh, they're fighting. Okay.
And mellow out, relax. And the guy came at him, so he took his back, put him in a rear naked choke, choked him out, and the kid died.
Yeah, he'd been awake on meth for like a few days or
He'd been
something.
on meth, and it had something to do with reaction from being choked out and being on meth caused a reaction with his brain. So, yeah.
So I was like, yo, Chuck, I'm not on meth. Like,
I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm all right. Hey, as long as you're not on meth, I'll choke you out. It's all right, good.
Steve-O, don't you want to shed some of these behaviors now that you're sober, now that you're trying to be more healthy? Aren't you trying to adjust your life and make it reasonable? And
I think that what is important is to find some separation between like the persona of Steve-O and like whoever I am in my personal life. But I take away the drugs and alcohol, I'm still an idiot. I'm still an attention
But we
whore.
talk all the time how long it takes for us to recover from injuries now that we're getting older, right?
How old are you guys?
Well, we're up there. I'm 53 right now.
Wow,
for
how
me.
about that? Looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm 43. Chuck, you still 47?
48.
Yeah, there you
Happy
go.
birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Chuck can still take everyone
wanna-
in the whole office suite.
You
He
wanna
could
hear
choke us
something
all out right now.
crazy? Is one day, and I wonder if if I'm giving away too much, but this just blew my mind. We had a tent where all the cast would hang out, eat our meals, and we're all in the tent. There's no cameras rolling, nothing like that. And the various, everybody's in, mostly YouTube and different kind of areas of entertainment. And we're talking about our representation, like whatever agents we have or this and that, and like sort of the business of our careers. And Chuck just chimes in. He says, I've been thinking about getting an agent, but I don't want to cut them in on 10% of my purse if I fight again, because they wouldn't have brought that to the table. And I just my head exploded. I think Chuck Liddell just said he's maybe going to fight again. Like what? So I'm a huge fan of the UFC. And I went over later in the day. I just couldn't take it anymore. I turned on my camera, went over to Chuck. I said, Chuck, you said something at lunch today about maybe fighting again. He goes, yeah, I'm thinking about it. And then he starts picking fights, calling people out who he's ready to fight.
I went to my first.
Man, it was so great.
I went to my first fight the other day, the Bellator fight. I'm going again. I think when this show airs this weekend.
You're gonna go see the Loudmouth?
I don't know much
Against
about
Rampage?
Who's
But
that
if
Chael
Chuck,
something or other guy?
If you did,
He runs his mouth.
He's a boring fighter. That's
Right.
why he runs his mouth.
Right.
Are you
He made a
seriously
career
thinking-
out of running his mouth.
you seriously thinking about fighting again?
It's possible, yeah. We'll see.
What do you think of that Conor McGregor? What do you think about him? Is he losing his mind right now? Has he got it together?
I think not only is he not losing his mind, but he is just like procrastinating. He's stalling. He's hiding out. He doesn't want to give up his belts. He's got all this other business ventures going on. And if he gets in the octagon or anything, if he loses his next fight, then that really is going to negatively impact all of his
Like a
other
Ronda
business
Rousey,
ventures.
yeah.
So he's just
But didn't he make a
he's
ton
just
of dough?
running around hiding with those two belts, right? He
Yeah,
doesn't want to
he's
fight at
hold
all.
on as
Well,
long as he can and milk it until
Yeah, because
he
he's
has
got-
to fight and then he'll fight again.
And
He's
why
got
does he
he's
need-
got whiskey, his own brand of whiskey coming out, and
Well, he's importing cars and luxury items to Ireland,
him.
which I don't know if they need that stuff there, but he wants to be the first exotic car importer to Ireland.
Sure, and for everything that he's trying to do, it's like when you're the champion doing that with two belts, and that's one thing. And if you go back and fight again and you lose, it's not as
The door's closed.
It's not as I mean the doors won't close, but it's not as big of a deal. So
So Chuck, but how would you do this? If you want to get back into it, what would you look to do? Would you look for spectacle? like
It's
he
a
did
super fight.
with Mayweather? Or would you fight for UFC again?
You want to see 2 retired Hall of Famers come out of retirement? Like,
He's got a manager here.
He's doing good over there.
He's going to answer all your questions
I
for
don't
you.
think Tito would fight me again, but yeah, he's always
Tito Ortiz?
That's one of the ones where I always still
the
get
funny
fans
fight.
this day saying, "Why don't you fight him one more time?"
Yeah.
Why don't you fight him?
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I think he said he doesn't want to fight me, so I don't think that's an option. But
Yeah,
man,
they say
so
no
man,
until they say
can't,
yes.
We can't give it away, but just trust that Chuck was saying some juicy shit, man. That like Chuck's the nicest guy ever, and I was just completely caught off guard by the shit that he was talking about Tito Ortiz and Chill. It was just so great. I was like, man, I said to him, I said, Chuck, have you said this publicly? He goes, no, and I'm holding my little camera like, ah.
So the show again is Ultimate Expedition. It's on YouTube Red. It begins airing January 17th. 1 episode every week, right? They're going to roll them out once a week.
I think they initially dropped the first 2 episodes,
First
and then
2 at
each
once?
subsequent week is 1 episode.
And you're carrying your own cameras?
Well, this is the thing because of
How much of a crew do they have up there?
Because of the business model of YouTube Red being kind of like this sort of creator vlog type personalities.
Right.
What they had is, and it's either idiotic or totally genius, and we'll find out which. But they have two components of the show. One is the television crew. Every cameraman in the television crew, or at least most of them, are individuals who have climbed Mount Everest. So you've got like the camera guys carrying this huge equipment are the most elite mountain climbers, right? So they can film us, document us. That's the TV side of it. And then as part of the contract, we have to create our own videos where we video ourselves with these little cameras and my
confessionals. So you're
confessionals, daily vlogs.
Daily vlogs.
We create our own YouTube series, which we post to our own channels. My contract mandates that I have to produce and post 22 YouTube videos over the course of the 10-week run.
Okay.
And so, I mean, in the history of entertainment, whenever has a major television or film project demanded that the cast poach footage and leak the content of the actual show. But then you've got all the YouTube personalities driving all the traffic to the show. You've got the show driving the traffic back to the YouTube channels. It's just this vortex of traffic being directed.
And are they paying you some decent money for this?
I mean, not the biggest money. Certainly not. I mean, shoot, I did a job.
Does it end up being SAG? Does it end up being any sort of union
I don't know
gig?
about that. But we were out there for 3 weeks, and I got paid significantly more for the job I did after that in 2 days.
Right. And you didn't have to climb any mountains.
Yeah, it was hardly a landslide of cash, but
it's going to be a big exposure deal.
It's
and,
great.
And a lot of people are going to see it. And like I said, I thought it looked great. You know, I make television like that, and I thought it looked really like a really smart, beautifully shot series. You know,
yeah,
it's
certainly
a cool deal.
I mean, it's like mountain climbing with the stars.
Do either of you guys like cars? Do you at all? Are you car collectors? Are you into cars in any way? You don't have to be, by the way. It's
I never
fine.
even learned. I grew up mostly in England, and never.
Well, they have cars there.
Sure, but like it's kind of like New York City, where
You just don't drive.
Yeah.
What do you drive right now? Do you have a car?
I drive a Chevy Volt.
Oh, you do? All right,
Yeah.
there you go. There's that. What about you, Chuck?
well,
Driver at all?
I got a BMW 760.
Yeah, there you go. So there we go.
But I had a Ferrari F430 for a long time, and I love that car.
Ferrari guy, is that what you are?
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
Actually, that's a funny story. Like the Ferrari was a gift from the UFC. It was from Dana Lorenzo, and I was talking to Lorenzo. To Dana, the night before he was going to give it to me because I was meeting him down in LA, and he surprised me. He said he was buying a car. I went out and checked it out and said, "So hey man, nope, that's yours," but which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's a nice gift.
But he called me the night before and was talking to me, and I was like, about Lamborghinis, and I'm like, yeah, I'm more of a Ferrari guy. I'm not a big Lamborghini guy. And he's like, because they already bought me a Lamborghini. They're going to give me a Lamborghini. He's going, he's sitting there we need to get someone on the phone. You know, he's sitting there like,
oh man,
talking, trying not to talk to me, going, get someone on the phone, we got to change the car. So they got that 430.
Wow, what a sweet
That's an
gift.
awesome car, man.
Yeah.
What color was it?
Silver.
Beautiful.
Silver, nice.
It was a convertible. It was awesome. I mean, that was so fun to drive. It was a great gift for me too. It's one of those things I probably would have never spent that much money on something.
Yeah.
For myself, but someone else spent it for it. It was nice to have. I still kept it for a long time.
And where did you drove it around here, right? Because I remember seeing you in
here sometimes.
in
I drive it down.
TMZ.
I drive it down here from Slow. The first time I got it, the funniest thing is they give it to me. Right? They just gave it to me. He says, "Okay, do you want us to ship it to your house, or do you want to drive it home?" Mike looked at him like, "Are you kidding? Is that a serious question? Did you think did you think that question through?" No, I'll take it. Let's go.
Man, the stories that Chuck, just being in the mountains with Chuck Liddell and hearing you get the best stories, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, we all want to be a tough guy like Chuck Liddell, right?
I mean, just to hear the behind the scenes of where his life was at, and like Chuck, I really just fell in love with Chuck right away, and the stories of him working in a bar and just fighting for free, and then
what does that mean? What do you mean?
Right.
You were a bartender or a bouncer?
I bounced and then I was bartender. Well, I was one of the guys. They offered. I was bouncing. And they offered to be, you can come in and be a bar back if you want to train to be
I used to be a bar back.
bartender.
Yep, I did that
And I'm
same
like,
thing.
okay, wait. So I can get $5 tip at the end of the night, or I can get like a, $50-$60 at the end of the night. I'll be the bar back.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I just got to run around doing stuff. It was
Carry
fun.
ice,
I had a great time.
refill juices, do
And then
that deal.
I came in and learned how to bartend and just started bartending, so you make real money. So
Right.
It was
I
a
can't
great. It was a
imagine
great
anybody
job.
can-
I was fighting. I mean, to go. I worked
But was
20
your
hours
hair
a week.
cut like that when
Yeah.
you tending bar? And
Yeah.
people gave you shit?
No, not most of the time. I had a pretty good, and I had a
But what
pretty
is
good
this?
reputation.
What is he saying
with
you
that.
were fighting there? You
Oh,
were-
there
he
was
wasn't
the-
fighting in the bar. He was going and fighting basically for free, right?
Yeah,
kickboxing.
challenging guys.
UFC,
Yeah.
right?
I could have
just
used
guys
you in
challenge
Boston.
guys at places. I mean, we get guys. Oh man, my buddy wants to spar you, and you get there and you go to work with them, and they're sparring. And like, okay, man, take it easy. Trying to take my head off. Okay, take it easy. All right, let's go. Here we go. Knock him out. And then they start crying. Oh, why'd you knock him out?
Wow.
Hey man, I said take it easy.
What's the best place for guys like us to punch somebody? If we get in an altercation and we must use violence, what is our first move? What's the first 1-2 combination we want to use?
My favorite is the throat. I really. But
What does that mean? So a punch,
I do this and then I
So
come with
an
my right
open
one,
hand
and I usually come with an elbow. In a street fight, elbows work beautifully.
why? Why not? Protect your hands?
A lot
Or?
of these guys, most of them are like this.
Right.
Oh, and elbows are close range. Guys are getting in your face.
So let's
close
break it
range.
down. Break it down. Left hand goes to the throat, and then I come across with an elbow.
Yeah.
Okay. What if that hurts my elbow? What if?
Then you probably shouldn't be fighting.
So you're hitting him across the face, this person, right?
Yeah.
And what happens to them? Are they stunned by that? Do I let go of the neck after I hit with the elbow? Or do I then answer?
If he doesn't go down with the elbow, I would just keep going. Turn around.
Okay, so if you're like a guy like me whose body type is academic and not athletic, if I have to take a punch, what's the best way for me to take a punch? Because I'm going to be the guy getting hit.
No, you've hit before.
I
Zuckerman.
have
You're
a big
hitter.
mouth. I'm long on mouth, short on stature. Tell me where I'm going to take a punch?
Where are you going to take it?
Yeah, how's the best way for me to get beat up?
I don't know. I actually cannot help you with that one.
That's a horrible question.
That's a horrible-
He delivers the punches.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
delivers the hurt.
Yeah.
No, I'm on my own in that regard.
You are.
When we were up in the, I don't know if I don't even care. Obviously, this show was taped a little while back, and they had a satellite for emergency communications. And our last night on the trip, I think it was the last night, was the McGregor-Mayweather fight. Mm-hmm. And we were all huddled in this little tent, you're trying to stream on some illegal streaming
From Russia.
and it was from Russia, and it was the screen was freezing up, and then we'd see it would move for a couple seconds,
Yeah.
and we saw it was pretty clean the first few rounds of the fight, and I'll tell you, to be sitting there with Chuck and have him giving his insight, like providing commentary on it.
Well, yeah. Well,
Like,
Chuck, give me your insight on that because
think
it looked like
like Mayweather threw the first few rounds,
right,
to make
just
it,
to extend it,
Well,
right?
I don't know if he did it extended or he just did it. He'd be careful. He's being safe. I mean, that's the way he fights.
Like,
he fights careful. He fights safe.
Right, but
he
still.
gets
It
you
looked like he
tired.
was-
He
I
gets you
think-
tired. He moves. He avoids punches. He avoids stuff. I
But
mean,
no, but
it's
he
not-
let McGregor hit him. Nobody can hit him. Like
And by the way,
Do you
it didn't
think he
look-
let
it-
McGregor hit him?
I think he let
And
McGregor
I
hit
think
him.
so too. And it didn't look like
Yeah.
McGregor was really landing forceful punches. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
it
like
just
they
looked
had a
like
deal,
he was,
like don't hit hard, and you're allowed to hit me for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
It
that's
looked
what
like that to me.
And
You know,
then he just woke up and said,
I
"Let me
find it
finish."
hard to believe they had a set thing like the agreement with that, but I don't
But,
know.
I mean,
man.
dude, this stood to be the
I call
biggest
the whole
flop
thing a
ever.
circus.
Right.
It was a circus. That fight was a circus.
Well, if I threw you into a boxing ring, would you be able to do it, or is it just a completely different dance move? You
He's
know
got
what I
heavy
mean?
hands.
Well,
Chuck's
it's
got
boxing.
heavy hands.
I would have fought boxing. We were talking to
Chuck just likes fighting.
I
But
mean,
you know what I'm saying,
I
it's
I
a
would have wanted to
discipline.
at least be able to kick. Kickboxing. Look, here's the difference. There's a different distance for boxing, kickboxing, and MMA. It's why it drives me crazy when these boxing commentators talk about the striking in MMA versus the striking in boxing. It's talking the apples and oranges by the time you get
Right.
there. You can't stand in a boxing stance in MMA. It just doesn't work right.
Right.
You can't stand in a true boxing stance in kickboxing either, because you stand in that stance. You give me about 1 round. You got about 1 round to knock me out, and you're not gonna be able to stand on your front leg. Because you won't be able to block my leg kicks, and especially if you're a boxer, you're not used to getting leg kicked. You're not gonna want to block my leg kicks anyway.
Right.
So you got about a round to knock me out.
So
And
you would
after
wa-
that, you're not. It's gonna be ugly.
You can't stand up, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to stand on that. You might not be able to answer the bell by at the end of round 2.
You wouldn't want to fight Mayweather. You're going to stick with Ultimate Fighting,
I
right?
would love to fight Mayweather.
But just
$100
not
million,
boxing,
I'll
just-
fight anybody.
I mean, Chuck's my heavyweight.
I mean, I'd love to fight Mayweather. Not to mention he's he's
Yeah.
a soul.
I
I mean, he's
mean-
not my weight class.
Right,
I'm
right,
way out of
right.
his weight class.
Yeah.
But I'd have to tackle him. He's pretty quick. I tackle him, throw him against
See,
the
that
ropes.
would be a more interesting fight to me, is the boxer fighting a UFC
The
stud.
boxer's going to get
That-
annihilated
that's
in
not,
UFC.
That's not, I keep saying that's not interesting either. It's not going to last.
Really?
Long. I mean, I told Mayweather a long time ago. He was talking. We were going back and forth back when, back in it was like 06 or something, and it was kind of at that time. It showed that we'd come around when boxing started talking about us.
Right.
But I said, hey man, he was popping off about something about me fighting a boxer. Yeah, and I said, dude, you couldn't. I got a 135 pounder. You won't get out of the first round with anytime you want. Because that was my roommate at the time. But
Right.
But I mean, it's different. It's apples and oranges, and they can't come over. He wouldn't be able to come over. He'd be on his back, and he could take it down in about 5 seconds if they wanted. Shoot across, take him down. He's got one. If he doesn't knock him out with the first punch coming when he's on his way in, shooting in, he's not getting off his back.
Yeah.
He'll be on the ground, and you can play with him. If you don't know how to wrestle, if you never wrestled, you've never done jiu-jitsu, I take you down, you are not getting up.
Mm-hmm. Well, if I see Tito at this Bellator event Saturday night, I'll tell him you said hello.
Warmest
see if-
regards, Tito.
I see if I can Don King this thing up, Zuckerman.
Yes.
We'll do Comedians and Cars and Ultimate Fighting.
Why not?
Why not?
Why
And
not?
Steve-O, I'm glad to see you happy and healthy.
I appreciate it, man.
You've got a girlfriend now for
I
a
do.
year. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You're a new man.
I worked hard, man.
You're a new man. Just try and take care of that body. I tell my kids, you only have one body.
Yeah, I've been pretty fortunate. Being 43 and getting away with what I've done.
Well, let's hope you make it to 53. Here's some useful car tips you might not be aware of. A coffee filter and a little bit of olive oil can clean your interior. Removing excess weight from your car will improve gas mileage, and you can place your key fob to your chin. That's right, the chin on your face, to increase its range. Weird, right? Well, here's another tip you also might not know about. TrueCar also helps people get used cars. That's right, TrueCar isn't just for buying new cars. With their certified dealer network and nationwide inventory of nearly 1 million used cars, you'll enjoy real pricing on actual inventory and a simpler buying experience whether you buy new or used. And with TrueCar, users can see what others paid, so they know if they're getting a good deal before buying. They're also more likely to enjoy a faster buying experience by connecting with TrueCar certified dealers. When you're ready to buy a new or used car, check out TrueCar and enjoy your more confident car buying experience. Some features not available in all states. The show is Ultimate Expedition. It's on YouTube Red starting January 17th. Fellas, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us, man.
All right, we'll see you next week on Spike's Car Radio.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio. Download new episodes every Wednesday on the Podcast One app or subscribe now at Apple Podcasts or PodcastOne.com.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.